Hi, everybody. Marcus Malone, president at HRO and the Broker Collective, and just kind of talk real quick today about three key reasons why you're failing with prospecting. If you look around, really all industries combined, you're lucky if you've got 60% of your sales team that's actually hitting their quota. And no secret, I mean, most of us, if you have people who are failing or you're one of those who are struggling to consistently perform, it's probably a lot because of prospecting, right? You're often just not generating enough qualified opportunities. And so a lot of variables that go into prospecting success, but I'm going to highlight three important ones. That's going to be wrong energy. Your audience, right, is possibly too broad, and or your messaging just way too generic. That's a big one. And then third, maybe your outreach is just all wrong, right? Things are very different now than they were, say, 5, 10 years ago. Things change a lot. So maybe your methods of outreach are just wrong. So we'll dive into each one of those a little bit further, starting with the energy, right? When you think about, people talk about bringing energy, bringing a good energy, in sales. It's important, right? The energy you bring is going to have a dramatic effect on the results that you have. But, when you think about energy, a lot of times you hear that word and you think about somebody who's just bouncing off the walls with energy, right? They're, talking up a storm and they're just this super energetic person. And that's not really what it is when you think about bringing a good energy, right? It's really more about, how does the prospect or how do the people you're talking to feel when they're talking to you? What feeling do you give off, right? Are you optimistic? Are you bringing positive energy? Are you, genuine and sincere and a warm presence and, it's just enjoyable to be around? I mean, that's the energy, right? That you want to give. You don't want to seem stressed or tense or scared or desperate, right? And a lot of salespeople, that's unfortunately, whether they want to or not, that's how they come off, right? And it has a huge impact on their results. And so, a lot of reasons why somebody may be bringing a less than desirable energy to the table. You know yourself, your sales team, and so every individual is a little different, but a few culprits could be that, a person just doesn't believe in what they're selling, right? It's really important to have a belief that, what it is that you're selling is actually something that can really help somebody, that can make a big difference and actually make an impact, for the client. And so, your belief has a big part in, the energy that you bring to the table. And are you prospecting out of necessity? Or do you really get excited to prospect? I mean, I don't really know a lot of salespeople I've ever been around who genuinely just love to prospect, but it's more about, what does that prospecting actually allow you to do, right? I mean, it's more about the mindset of, um, and the genuine desire to want to help people, to know that you have something that can make a difference. Like you wake up every day, like, okay, I have to go prospect. Or it's like, oh my gosh, you wake up every day and you're excited because you've got the opportunity to go help somebody today. You've got the opportunity to go create a new relationship, a new friendship, to help somebody and to really make a difference. And so taking that mindset into your prospecting can totally change the way you think about it and change your attitude and your energy in the process. Second one, and this one's huge. I think back to, my early days in selling. I started selling in about 2007 in the PEO industry, and this was a big one for me to, I think, really learn. Through some of the more difficult years. And not every year was a President's Club year, right? And so you learn that, if you're like so many salespeople and you're going out there and you're just targeting these broad audiences, right? You don't have any specific messaging for anybody. You're just targeting a big list of prospects, right? I got, a list of 5,000 companies with between 10 and 100 employees. And I'm letting them know that, hey, we're the best insurance provider in the, Southern California area or whatever it is, right? You don't have a specific message talking about or solving specific problems for a specific audience. And so something that we've had tremendous success with in recent years is really dialing in the messaging. And so the more you can really dial in the audience, right, and speak to a very specific group of people, the more you can understand that audience, what's important to them, how they prefer to interact with you, the problems that they commonly face, the strengths that you bring to the table that solve problems for that audience. And then that will allow you to create very specific messaging to that select group of people. And I guarantee you that alone is going to dramatically boost the results that you're having. No doubt about it. If I had to pick a number one thing, that would be the number one thing to really look at and make a change to and make adjustments to get better results. And then third, really maybe your outreach, right, is just all wrong in general. A lot of us get stuck on doing things, we've done for 10 years because we've just always done it that way. And things change, right? The way people buy and interact and engage, they change. And there's so many different methods of outreach available to us now. I think it's really important to have a well-rounded approach to your prospecting efforts, and you're not just only cold calling or only emailing. And consistency is the key too. No matter what it is that you're doing, you need to really have a systematic approach. And so, a good example would be, you've got, um, your prospect list that you're prospecting, and you know that I'm going to touch these people 8 times in a 3-week period. And, it's going to be a combination of maybe phone calls. It's going to be a combination of some emails with text. Maybe it's a combination with a couple emails with video content. And maybe it's a combination of some social outreach. Maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's Facebook. But maybe you reach out, via messaging on some other platforms, and you're not just sending, text, written emails or written messaging, but maybe you're also incorporating some video content or audio content. We like to do that and really mix it up. Maybe shoot a quick 1 or 2 minute video message using a platform like Loom, for example, that can, bring a little bit more of a personal touch to the message, right? Your prospect then gets a chance to get a feel for your personality and if they will enjoy having a conversation with you. Those things can make a dramatic effect on how your message is received, by that prospect. So, really important to show up and be consistent. You can't just try any new strategy for a few attempts or a few weeks and be like, oh, well, that didn't work, right? You need to make sure whatever you're doing, you're giving yourself a big enough sample size to really gauge whether something's working or not. And then things that are not working, it's really important to recognize that and move away, right? Either make adjustments or move away from those strategies. And so you're not just doing something to be busy, right? But it's not really producing a result. So, I'll leave you with that. Don't be afraid to get outside of the box. Use video, use audio, use multiple different approaches in your prospecting. Make sure that you're thinking about the energy that you're bringing to the table and being as specific as possible with your messaging and the audience that you're talking to. I hope this blesses you, and I hope this helps make a dramatic impact on you and your team and your sales success. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time.